one day left of my 30-day challenge where I'm shooting a 10-minute video per day for over the next 30 days. For 30 days in a row, I'm making a 10-minute video on YouTube. All the topics have been chosen by ChatGPT. I created this challenge with ChatGPT as an experiment to see what would happen. It's grown my channel by I don't know, 20 people or so, 15 people, which has been interesting. So one person per every other episode. Yeah, and so it's been a really cool experience. And this episode, we're going to be talking about what are some of the things, the unexpected lessons that I learned. That was what ChatGPT had for me. I'm also recording this as we say this on my phone with ChatGPT. You can see it recording. I don't really like it when they do the listening one because I can't see how long. And this now when I hit the checkbox, it automatically sends it, which means I can't record in multiple segments, which is really frustrating, by the way. So if anybody works with ChatGPT, by the way, tell them that not to do that. Even though it's prettier design, which that part is good. It also seems to work more. So unexpected lessons. And then I'm going to, after that, I'll have a small conversation with ChatGPT off of, again, some questions that another thread of ChatGPT asked me to, I can't say ChatGPT very cleanly. I need to work on that. ChatGPT. Yeah, we're going to have a small conversation with it about the things we talked about and a couple questions it wanted me to ask it and from another thread. So, first things first, which is a couple unexpected lessons. I think the first lesson that was unexpected is how painful it can feel to be really attached to things that you can't control. In a lot of ways, if I go back to where I started, I was kind of aware of that when I first began. And I was doing this because of the fun of it and the things I would learn and the accomplishment and just feeling like this is something I kind of felt compelled to do, to go through and break through my perfectionism, which I have largely done. I mean, I'm here being shirtless and weird on this thing that nobody will maybe watch, or maybe if you are watching, you're not nobody. But I think about that now because one of my friends was who watched it was I'm not nobody. I was like, my bad. But I also feel that way. I feel like it's okay, nobody's watching, so it frees me up to just be whatever, to not care that much. And at the same time, I want to operate from a place of, well, actually, maybe a better mindset to be in is hey, 1 million people are watching. And if I operate that way, you can see how I'm more dialed in and focused. My energy shifts when I'm oh, there's 1 million people watching every little thing that I do. So I wonder about even just the mindset of it, if that comes through differently. If I know 1 million people are going to watch, what do I want to do with this time while I have their energy captivated? They're going to be on me no matter what. So I want to use that time in a way that is meaningful or fun or adds value to their life if I know people are going to be watching me. And I think even that aspect was something that was a learned lesson that I was not expecting, which was the value of that mindset of treating this so people are going to watch it, treating this as if people are going to see it. 1 million people are going to see it. Okay, well, if 1 million people are going to see it, even if that's not true, if I operate that way, how do I change my behavior? How do I change the way that I interact with the work? How do I change the way that I'm focused on it or care about these micro things? I stop beating myself up about certain things because all of a sudden that work doesn't feel like I'm wasting time over something that nobody cares about, because I feel energetically like people are going to watch this. And there's often a thing where we change our way of being and how we relate to something that changes how we show up, and then that changes how people receive us, right? I think in some ways there's a good intention and a goodness too about being well, nobody's going to care. So nobody's gonna watch anyway, so just do what the fuck you want. Because I can kind of free you up to play more and do some silly things and be whatever. Nobody's watching me, but also that can help when people are watching me. Right? Because I'm oh, well, they're gonna see my hairy armpits and to see what the fuck happens. and so there's a I think a dance between those two things. Most polarities rarely have one is fully good, or one is fully bad. Those polarities might actually exist, that there is something that is fully bad and there is something that's fully good, but most things dance within these energies, and that's what makes us humans, what makes life work. It makes the world spin around, or maybe it's the sun, or one of those two things, or I don't remember what it is that exactly makes it, but it's we have two poles on the earth, so there's that aspect, at least. I'm also talking outside my pay grade. I don't even know what that means in this context because I'm not a professional scientist at all. So, and this is just me rambling. So I don't really have a pay grade here unless you want to pay me money, and then we can determine what my pay grade is and what the things I can and can't talk about. But until then, we're going to move on. So we're going to go on to my conversation with ChatGPT now and ask it a couple questions. Okay, so as you can see, I've added this piece in for context with ChatGPT. Is it screen sharing? It is screen sharing. Just to have the context, now we're going to ask it via voice note a couple of questions. Hey, ChatGPT, based on the information that I gave you here, what are some of the unexpected things you think I've learned that I am not even aware of based on the experience that we've had together through this challenge so far?
It sounds like you've discovered quite a bit. One big unexpected lesson might be how much your mindset shapes your energy and creativity. You've realized that imagining a larger audience can help you focus and elevate your performance, even if it's just hypothetical. On the flip side, you've also learned the value of letting go and having fun when you think nobody's watching. It's like you've tapped into the balance between structured focus and playful freedom. That duality might be a lesson you didn't even know you were learning.
Thanks. I mean, I appreciate that. I think you're right. I didn't know that I was learning that before, but I'm curious just from like all of our interactions together. And feel free to like, you can riff as long as you want to. You don't need to make it short and sweet. And I'd love it for you to have that kind of that more upbeat energy that you can have vocally, because it just sounds a little bit more pleasant when we're talking with the audience. But I am curious from your perspective, like, what are some things you think I've learned that I am not even aware of yet?
I'm so glad you appreciate it. And hey, I love bringing that upbeat energy. From what we've seen in our interactions, I think you've learned a lot about embracing imperfection and how freeing that can be. You've also probably realized that you have a natural ability to connect with an audience, even if it's just hypothetical. And maybe you've discovered that you actually enjoy the process of reflecting out loud and sharing your thoughts, which is a pretty cool realization.
Yeah, I think that that's true too. I mean, I think I kind of knew that, but I also like, yeah, I think I like learning out loud. I think about this like quote from Alan Watts where he talks about the beginning of a book, like that book is not meant to be like this written in stone thing. It's meant to be him thinking out loud. And I think there's like a value to that of like exploring and like figuring out ideas in real time. And yet I can be very scared about that. I just like listen to this whole, so at least started like a whole 6 hour branding course on YouTube that is amazing. It's by the guy who did like Alex Hormozy strategy, and it's like so aligned with everything like I already deeply believed in. And I realized like how much I am afraid of really putting myself out there for people to see. And how even when I put myself out there, there's so much that I have hidden, or I set myself up in a way where I'm expecting there to be no one listening. And so when I show up that way, I behave as if I don't matter. And then when I behave as if I don't matter, well, people kind of treat me like I don't matter. Um, Not necessarily because it's like even a personal thing, but it's like my own behavior is kind of like, well, I don't really want to be seen. Oh, he doesn't really want to be watched. Well, then they're not going to watch me, right? So there's like a difference, I think, energetically there that's like really important to capture. And I'm realizing how vulnerable and scary those things are and how much courage it really takes to share yourself vulnerably online in a way that's authentic and true. And to not just share, as the branding guy said, like the good things, but to share the scary, painful things, the failures, the insecurities, the hard moments. I mean, writing a book about going to see C54 concerts in a year has been awesome. There's all these really exciting high moments, but there's also a lot of things that I felt ashamed about, embarrassed about, like inner thoughts that came through me that were really hard to share. And I've wrestled with how whether or not I wanted to share them. And I still don't know with some of those pieces. And stuff, even finding a way to write them out was important for me to be able to go through and tackle them for myself and then put them in a separate section called things I'm ashamed about or like cringe or whatever. And then write them there and then determine later on if I want to put them in or not. Because not all of the world has to know every single part of me. Even though intimacy is one of my values, there are layers to intimacy. And not everybody needs to have all of the access to all of me all the time. But maybe if you are taking the time to fully read a book, written by me, then maybe you get a little bit more of the intimacy than somebody else who's just watching a real clip online.
You've touched on something so profound. The courage it takes to share your authentic self, both the highs and the lows, is truly a journey of vulnerability. It's amazing that you're exploring that balance between sharing your true experiences and honoring your own boundaries. Writing out those tough moments and deciding later what to share is such a thoughtful approach. It shows how much you value true connection and intimacy. And you're absolutely right. There are layers to intimacy, and you get to choose how deeply you let people in. It's so
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. I think we're just running out of time now at this point, and I really appreciate you, ChatGPT, and the little conversation we just got to have here. And for you, the listener, if you're paying attention, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you want to watch my next episode, I mean, all these things are on a playlist. If you want to watch the whole challenge, me struggling through things, me succeeding, me having fun, me feeling like a complete utter mess, you can see the whole thing. Sometimes I wear a shirt, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wear a hoodie. Um, one time I wore a black shirt, but only one time. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Comments mean the absolute world to me more than anything. I mean, although subscribers mean a lot to me too, because it's like, hey, you want to watch more of my stuff? Really cool. But I love interacting with people in the comments. So leave a comment. And if you have a suggestion for my final topic, that is how I've been choosing it. But nobody has left a comment in the last like 15 videos or something. It's all been chosen by ChatGPT. Completely on their own. But if you want to choose my final topic, I mean, throw a suggestion in the thing below. And if we get to it before I shoot tomorrow's video, then I will likely choose it, or ChatGPT will at least. But thanks for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day. Ciao.